This is called The Haunted Home. When I was growing up, I had two very good friends, George and Louie. We did a lot of things together. We did a lot of exploring, a lot of investigating. We would play sports. We went to school together. We did everything. So one time there was a home just down the road from us. The authorities had shut it down. The windows and doors had been boarded up. There was a sign up on the door. Anyway, there was no activity. Nobody going in and out of the house for months. So one time, my friend George said, why don't we go and check the house out? And I thought, okay, well, we can do it during the day. I mean, that's easy. I said, no, let's go there at night. And I thought, wait, that changes the rules here a bit. That changes things. Why don't we just do it during the day? And he's like, no. I said, it'll be better at night. He says, I've seen some weird shadows around that place there. I said, well, it's probably people, walking around like the outside of the property. He says, no, I've seen stuff. I said, how can you see things if the windows are boarded up? He says, I'll show you. So that night, we had this rule on our street and with our parents that, we'd be out playing, but as soon as the street lights came on, we'd have to go in. If you didn't go in, you got called, and usually by the second or third call, your parent would be standing there and, dragging you by the ear inside. So anyway, so we got called in and stuff, and got washed up, had supper and everything, and we decided to meet outside after everybody had gone to sleep, and this might have been about a little after 11 o'clock. So the school year had finished already, so this was our summer break. We're just hanging outside near my place, and so we decided we're gonna walk down and check out the house. So we go down there, and as we're walking there, you could hear a little commotion going on. We figured probably raccoons or skunks or something. And then as we're getting closer, we were not going to go inside and investigate. That was not going to happen. But as we got closer, you could see there were some fleeting shadows around the property. So we thought, well, hang on, somebody might be, trying to move in there, or kind of just, crash out for the night or something. So not knowing what we were going to be in for, we decided we weren't going to go any further. So then we chickened out, went back, sat down on my lawn, and we just, discussed how we were going to go ahead and, do a real investigation here. So we decided that a couple of nights later, on a Friday night, as I recall, a lot of our parents would get together for card games and whatnot. And they usually play until, about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. So we thought it'd be great, great time to come out and do this. Normally we would be playing in the basement, or we'd be outside on the porch, or we'd be in bed. But, we found that it was a great opportunity for us to kind of exit the house there a bit and do a little exploring. So when the time came, sure enough, there were playing cards all up in the kitchen there. And we went down. I remember George and Louie, we had 2 flashlights at the time, so they brought them with them. And we go down there, and as we're walking towards the house, of course, it's dark, and there's a little bit of a breeze. And as you're getting closer and closer, you can feel your heart pounding a little more stronger, right? You can feel that adrenaline starting to kick in slowly. But then we start walking around, and as we go down the side of the house, there's a window there, or was a window there rather. It looked like the plywood or the wood there had been ripped off. So first we thought, well, maybe there's somebody in there, so maybe we shouldn't do this. And my buddy George's like, no, we're doing this tonight, man. So all right, and we went. We slid in through that window and found ourselves in the basement. Now the fun begins. So the first thing we do is turn the flashlights on. We start scanning the basement. And of course, we get freaked out because there's some piles of clothing in the corner, a lot of garbage. There's a weight set not far from us. The fuse box, an old washer dryer, and just a lot of other household appliances and other things just lying around. Pretty bad shape. So we decided we're all gonna, three as a group, walk up those steps and then open that door, and then we would stay as a group. That was the plan. Didn't quite happen that way. Up the stairs we went. Opened the door, and there we are on the main floor. So George and Louie are with the flashlights just everywhere, so making sure we're not bumping into stuff. And of course, there isn't any electricity in the house, so we can't turn any lights on, and we didn't want to anyway, not to attract any attention, obviously. So we're walking very close together, and as we're walking, you can hear the boards creaking underneath our feet. And we can see the hallway with some old paintings and pictures on the walls, wallpapered walls, some light sconces. And then, for some reason, my friend George decided to split from the group. He said, "Guys, I'll see you in a bit. I'm going this way." We're like, "Wait, don't hang on, don't leave us here." And Louie and I, of course, are now on the main floor. George is now going up the stairs to find out whatever's up there. And we're like, "Crap, this is not good." So we're really scared now. So Louie and I are walking around, and we see the corner of the hallway there. There's a like a coat rack, and of course, we walk towards the coat rack. And as we're walking to the coat rack, suddenly we hear, just off to the side on our left, floorboard creak. And we're like, George, is that you?" And of course, George is not there. George is upstairs. And we could hear him upstairs walking around. So I looked at Louie and I'm like, "Crap, there's somebody in the next room." I said, "So put your light in there." So he flashes the light in the room, and it's a sitting room. There were a couple of couches and chairs, a coffee table. And he's looking around the room and stuff, and we're both just standing there looking. And I thought I felt like a breeze at the back of my neck. And I just turned around really quick. It's like, "Whoa, what's going on?" I'm like, "I just felt something at the back of my neck." He goes, "No, man, you're imagining stuff. Stop that, man. You're scaring the crap out of me." I said, "You know what? Let's just go upstairs and catch up to George, and let's get out of here. It's starting to really get creepy." So we go up the stairs really quick, and we start calling for George, and he's not answering. We're like, "Uh-oh." George was not upstairs. George made his way up to the attic, the next level. We found that out because as we're walking around, of course, we see one of those draw steps. You can just pull the drawstring from the ceiling, and then the steps come down and you go up. And of course, George is up in the attic. And he's like, "Guys, look at this." There were boxes of clothing. There were some toys, a bunch of broken dolls scattered all over the floor. You could see the body on one side and the heads on the other. There was some marionettes, which were kind of creepy looking. George was really a brave guy. Seriously, he wasn't scared of anything until a little further down the road on the investigation there. I'll tell you about that after. So we're in the attic, and it's pretty dusty there, and I have a little bit of allergies and stuff, so it was starting to affect me a little bit. So we decided we're going to go back down to the upper floor. So down the stairs we went. We did not close the steps behind us. We didn't push the stairs up, and we just left them open. So we're walking around. There's a few bedrooms up there. There's an old bathroom. And then we started hearing a little bit of a low hum, like a little wind howl. Very, very faint. So we just looked at each other and said, it's probably just, outside or whatever. It's an old house. I'm sure there's like little drafts and stuff. Nothing to worry about. So we keep going in through the rooms. And of course, all the rooms are furnished. There's a bed in there, a dresser. We come out, and then down at the end of the hall, we felt this weird feeling like, are we being watched? And I'm like looking at each other like, okay, if we have to leave, how are we going to get out of here? I said, can't jump out a window. It's too high. Both these got flashlights. I don't. And we might get hurt going down the stairs and stuff. I said, why don't we just walk down this hall and all three of us just find out what the hell's in that room. So we walk down. As we're walking down, all of a sudden, all of us at the same time said, did you feel that? We all said it. And it felt like someone was running their hand across the back of our necks, very lightly. We just froze there, and Louis and I said, you know what, I think we're done. We should get out of here now. George's like, no. Let's check this out. Of course, against better judgment, we stayed. So we continued walking into that direction. As soon as we got to the entrance there, I started feeling sick to my stomach. Louis started having a little bit of difficulty breathing. We felt like the air was getting very thick and heavy. George, of course, didn't feel a thing, and it's like you guys are just making yourself sick for no reason. He said, everything's fine, guys, don't worry. It's just our mind playing tricks on us. So we walk in the room, and he's putting the flashlight around, and we're looking around, and we saw a couple of more marionettes in the corner. There was a dresser. There was a lot of paper on the floor, some old books. So we turned around, and as we're turning around and walking towards the stairs to go back down, we hear the floorboard creak behind us, and we just froze. Of course, what ensued next was not a good thing. It triggered a stampede. I fell over George fell over me, Louis fell over the both of us, and the three of us went tumbling down the stairs. In the process, Louis' flashlight falls down, the cap comes off, and the light bulb breaks. Now we're down to one flashlight. We get to the bottom, we're looking at each other and like, oh my god, somebody's in here. So George flashes his flashlight up the stairs, aims it up there, and there's nothing. We could still hear floorboards creaking. So we're like, guys, this is it. We're out of here. So we decided we couldn't leave out the front door. We were going to leave out the same way we came in. So we had to go back down to the basement, get up on that table, and then just crawl through that window. So as we're making our way back down, we passed the kitchen. And as we passed the kitchen, George says, stop, don't move. Like, okay, what's up? He says, I think there's somebody behind us. And I'm like, oh, what? So of course we turn around and there's nothing there. And he goes, no, seriously, I'm not. He says, I think there's someone behind us. He says, I keep hearing a whisper. He says, but I don't know where it's coming from. He says, I don't see anything in front of us. All of a sudden, we hear a door slam upstairs. We run like hell down those stairs. When we get to the bottom of the stairs, something very important happened. As we get to the bottom of the stairs, we're all fighting to get onto that table, to climb out. What we didn't realize, we found out after, was that as we're struggling to get up on that table, George's flashlight falls down. and there's a knife, a large knife on the table. It's been nailed down. The handle part of it's been nailed down to the table. The blade was sticking out of the table about at least 5 or 6 inches. Louis and I were literally centimeters away from it. We could have gotten stabbed. We would have been accessories to our own death. We were that close. I freaked out. It's like, oh my God, we could have been stabbed here. George made his way out the window first. Louis went right behind him. I made my way around this knife, get up on the table, and as I'm putting my hands through it to get out to the window, I feel like somebody's grabbing my foot. I start screaming. The 2 guys grab me, and they're starting to grab my hands and pull me out of there. And I feel like someone's grabbing my foot and not letting go. George grabs his flashlight. He shines it down just past me. And there's no one there. There's nobody, but I can feel a hand grabbing my foot. And all my fears at one time come upon me, and I'm thinking, that's it, I'm dead. There's something down here. I'm never gonna leave this place alive. So a little bit of a struggle ensues, and of course, I finally make my way out. My shoe stayed behind, my running shoe. We ran home so fast, our hearts were pounding out of our chests. Obviously, it was a scary thing to go through. It was a spooky house and all. But the fact that Louis and I almost got killed, had we run in a different direction, or had we gone just a couple of centimeters more to one side, we could have been cut by that. Wow. It just so happened that George's flashlight had fallen on the table and aimed the light right at it. We would never have seen it. So we got home, freaked out. We said, we're never doing that again. Parents come out and said, well, what's going on? We're like, oh, nothing, we're just playing around. She goes, his mother goes, why do you have a flashlight in your hand? He goes, oh no, we're just aiming it around. She goes, you shouldn't be playing with flashlights. People are asleep. Don't be aiming that towards their houses and stuff. So she took it from him. My mom says, why do you only have one shoe on? You find out where that other shoe is. Of course, we looked at each other and I thought, there's no way we're going back in there and getting that shoe. So the next morning, my dad says to me, what have you guys been up to though? He says, some of the neighbors said there was a lot of commotion around that abandoned house down the road. He said, did you guys see anything? We're like, nope, we didn't see a thing. He goes, yeah. He goes, did you by any chance lose a shoe last night or something? And I'm like, whoa. He says, when I went out to get the paper in the morning, he says, your shoe was sitting on the porch by itself.